What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Book entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father. Amazon Kindle Create Space. Wild black women at the Women's March. I made one about the hypocrisy of the protests a couple days ago. I look on my Facebook, you see black women marching. That people that I know, I look on. I really don't look at TV anymore, but I can look enough in media to see they got black women out here marching. Okay, so I'm gonna ask these questions. Were white women marching with you? Were Asians marching with you? Were Hispanics marching with you? When it came to Sandra Bland? What about who understood your plight when it came to how you felt about Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, John Crawford? Were those juries not predominantly white women? Didn't the majority of white women vote for Donald Trump? Isn't Hillary Clinton a white woman? So doesn't that mean that white women didn't vote to put a white woman as the president? And white women set up a march for you to march with them on women's rights? A march for women. When black men talk about black women choosing feminism over civil rights or black rights, and black women look back and kind of say yeah, kind of say no, isn't this the same thing? I mean, don't white women benefit from this situation all the way across the board? What do white women lose by protesting against the white establishment? Because aren't they married to these white guys? Aren't these white guys the patriarchs of their family? Don't they borrow money or ask for money for these protests from white guys? The same affirmative action that seems to be caught up in black women's minds that they don't understand. Don't white women benefit the most from affirmative action? So wouldn't that say that they're double dipping? They're getting, so when you talk about white privilege, they're getting white privilege and they're getting black privilege, or some people would call the privilege of minorities. But you marching with them. For women. Okay. Aren't those same white women the majority of the people that are being sexual molesters of your kids when they're like preteens and teenagers in school? I mean, the stories have been coming out for years, right? I mean, they're just news story after news story after news story. Aren't these mostly white women? But you marching with them. Aren't these the same white women you tell black men that they're sellouts for fucking with? For being involved with? For having the same ideas or ideologies as? But every time they show up that women need to stick together, don't you jump on board with them? So aren't you selling out? Don't you have the same ideology? Aren't these the same women that tell you to get away and separate yourself from your man and go home to their man, at the same time having these marches against their men, but still going home to their men? But you don't get it. Okay. And you can't say you don't get it really, because aren't you the most educated woman in America? Hmm. But aren't you also the woman who praises being with a white man? Girl, get you a white man. Ooh, girl, if you would, these black men ain't shit. But if you get a white man, ain't these the same? Isn't this the same white men that you're marching against? Isn't this the reason? Isn't this the same group of people? Huh? Who tell you? Who didn't stand with you when you said to that the former president should have put a black woman in the Supreme Court? Did they stand up and fight with you? No, not really. Hmm. Matter of fact, even Hillary Clinton didn't do that, right? Hmm. And speaking of that, aren't these the same women? If they didn't vote for Hillary Clinton to be the president to empower women, or just as a symbolic thing for women, and they voted more so for Donald Trump, who you think they really riding with? Aren't these the same women that said that former first lady looked like a gorilla, she looked like an ape, she looked like a monkey, she looked like a man, she looked like a tranny, and you marching with them? They didn't disagree to that. Yet it's us black men that need to be kept an eye on. Isn't this women's march filled with the LGBT community? Isn't that why most black people have a problem with Black Lives Matter? Because they tried to turn it into a gay movement. So you women are comfortable with, you side with homosexual women and men. At the same time, say that down low men are like the scourge of the earth. But you march with them. At the same time, you women are saying that when something happens to us, black men, you're marching in the streets and you're protesting against us. And so you out there protesting against our oppression. And then you on a woman's march that's headed by white women. So you in some ways you are actually marching for your oppression too. So you're marching for being oppressed and you're marching for your oppressor in the same span. And you don't see the conflict with that. Because these women that you're marching with, you don't see them divorcing white men like that. You don't see them. Matter of fact, you don't see interracial dating being pushed by white women. If white men were so bad, you would see white women running 2 Asian men, 2 Hispanic men, 2 black men. But do they do that? No, they don't. But they tell you to stop messing with your man. They tell you the Hispanic man is yeah, you should get one of them. Tell you to go get an Asian man. They quiet when you get white guys. They don't like that, but they quiet with it because they know them white guys ain't gonna wife you. Y'all just exotic side pieces. But you don't get that. Now, here's the irony of all of this in these marches. If black men showed up to these women marches, heterosexual single black men showed up to these women marches that were predominantly by non-black women, y'all will have an issue. You know why? Because y'all would think, see, they always supporting these other bitches, these white bitches, and these Hispanic bitches, and these Asian bitches. They'll never stand with us. Oh, wait a minute. So if we showed up, you would see the problem with that. But when you constantly jumping on board with this shit, you don't see the problem with it. Matter of fact, what do you get out of these marches? Because over and over and over and over again, what black women keep saying after the fact, they don't stand with us. They don't march with us. They ain't with us when stuff's happening to us. And then they say, women, we need to get together and have a march. Sister, let's go, sisters. We are together again. Where is your woman's intuition when this shit happens? I just want to know. Like, where? Because if you can sense the bullshit a mile away because you're women, how come you keep falling for this same shit? I just want to know. Because ultimately, over the past couple years, y'all have been the same women who've been pushing black women and white men dating, been comfortable with dating racists, been comfortable with dating Klans members, been comfortable with dating people who hated the black community, and at the same time you marching with the same women that perpetuate this. That's crazy.